Hi. Hey, welcome to my first YouTube tutorial. Today's tutorial is just going to be a winter foundation routine. As you might have seen from my Instagram, I'm actually pregnant at the moment and my skin is really bad, to say the least. It's really dull. I've got pimples everywhere. So full coverage is really important to me at the moment. I don't like an overly matte face and brightening the dullness. So I hope that you learn something new. And keep watching if you want to see more. Now to start, I'm going to use a primer. This is the Arbonne Makeup Primer. The way my skin is at the moment, I really need to have something that's very hydrating. This primer is probably one of the best that I've used. Usually I use Dior foundation. However, I found that with the way my skin is at the moment, the makeup's sort of separating on my face. So I pulled out one of my old Gorgeous Cosmetics. It's a base perfecting foundation. And I've always liked it, but I sort of started playing around with other products. And so I sort of stopped using this. But this has been a godsend for me at the moment. My makeup stays on all day and it doesn't separate and look cakey. I don't necessarily have dry skin. It's really hard to explain. I've never actually had anything like this happen to me before. It's hard to explain what it does to my skin, but I suppose that's one of the beauties of being pregnant. And I'm using 2N. So just using the Morphe M442 stippling brush. I'm just going to stipple this onto my skin. So as you can see, I'm just sort of patting it on the skin. I'm not using the swiping motion. So just patting it on, especially if you have dry skin, that swiping motion with the foundation brush is really going to get it looking cakey and sitting within your dry skin. This foundation is actually really great coverage. So it's really heavy, but it's also buildable. So you can start off quite light and then build on it. And that's what I love the most about this foundation. So really just working it into the skin. And blending it down my neck, as my neck is actually quite light, as most necks are. Okay. And I'm done. So next I'm going to be using my concealer, and I use the Ben Nye. This is actually a foundation palette, a matte foundation palette with really heavy coverage. And what I like about this is, and I really love the coverage on this concealer. So I've just used the lightest, which is RCE1, and just using a flat concealer brush, and I'm just going to apply the concealer. I'm doubling this up as a highlighter. and also on my nose. So when you're highlighting your nose, there's a little bit of a trick to it. So you want to go down the center of the nose and then on the point, so it comes out as like an exclamation mark. Forehead. And I'm also going around the nose and down the lip. So this is going to conceal all of my pimples, which I have a lot, and they're all the hormonal pimples. So they're the worst to have because they have no head on them and they just won't go. Next, I'm going to use my Beauty Blender, and I'm just going to blend out the concealer in dabbing motions. Next, I'm going to contour. So I've got the Ben Nye again. This is the RSA 5. And once again, using my flat concealer brush, I'm going to begin to contour. If you have any issues with trying to work out where to contour, what I'd like to do is get the brush against my face and then roll up until after the brush sits under my cheekbones. And that is basically where your contour is going to go. I'm also going to contour under my chin. And I'm going to contour the forehead. And last but not least, the nose. Now with my nose specifically, my nose goes in and then it sort of comes out and then it goes in again before I've got the tip of my nose. I just like to contour this bit here as well as the tip of my nose. Now again, using the Beauty Blender, I'm going to go in and blend it all. Now before I deepen my contour and highlight, I'm just going to apply some pressed powder. This is translucent powder by Ingler. And using this tapered blush brush, which I'm using as a powder brush, it's the Morphe M403. Now next, to deepen up the contour, I'm actually using Arbonne's for the Sun of It illuminating bronzer. This is my favourite because it has absolutely no shimmer. It's completely 100% matte. And I'm just using a contour brush. This is actually gorgeous. And it's the 028. So I'm just going to use the powder to deepen my contour. Next, I'm going to do my eyebrows. Now, my eyebrows are naturally quite dense and the hair is quite thick. So I don't like to go for really crazy, dark, heavily filled-in brows. So what I'm using is the Too Faced Bulletproof Brows in Universal Taupe. This is actually the brush that came with it. So on one end we've got a spoolie, on another end it's an angled brush. What I'm going to do is brush my brows up. And it's going to start filling in from the bottom. So I'm going to draw my line at the bottom, then begin to fill in the brow. Okay, now that's done, it's time for the blush. So I'm using the Arbonne blush in Blossom. I really like this blush. The colour is absolutely beautiful. It's perfect for my skin tone. You really want to make sure that when you apply the blush, you're applying it in the contour as well. You don't want a gap between your contour and your blush. And lastly, I am going to set my highlight. So I just used the L'Oreal, it's a very old highlight, Golden Shimmer. I don't think they make it anymore, so I've got no idea what I'm going to use once this is finished. But I just used the Morphe M512 brush. It's a very sort of hard brush. And I'm really going to bring out that highlight. Especially in winter, I find that the skin loses its dewiness. And especially my skin at the moment has no dewiness. So I'm really wanting to focus. And last but not least, I'm just going to quickly dab on some mascara. And we're done. Thanks for watching my first YouTube video. I hope you enjoyed what you saw. Apologies for the lighting being a bit bright. I think I might have fixed it I had to pull a blind down. So let me know what you think in the comments below, and hit subscribe if you want to see more, and I'll see you next time. Bye.